Across the highway. I'm calling up there where the mailbox is, the road, okay? But there was another road, Esther, that separated our house. We had a creek. And up on that hill, that's where they raised. There was no creek in front of the. You're talking about the farmhouse.
Is that a creek or a crick?
Are you talking about the farmhouse?
Here we are at the Reed's discussion tonight.
You're not talking about Fall Creek. At the holler.
What's a holler?
I'm talking about where Mom and Dad had the restaurant. Fall Rock. Fall Rock. Yeah, I'm talking about, I'm Island Creek living. Are you on Island? I'm not on the farm now. I'm not on the farm. Oh, so you're on Island Creek. What went on there? That's where Dad went across and got the mail and he found a big bag of metal toys. At Island Creek? Somebody lost them along the highway there. Oh, I don't know anything about that. And so he brought them in. I was talking about Fall Rock. No, this is our mailbox. And see across, but it was across the road. It was across the road. Yeah, that was main highway 421 on Island Creek. Yeah. Yep. But I thought we was up to the old farm. And we used to go swimming there on Island Creek. There at it was stone quarry. It was a pond. It was a stone quarry. Plain old pond. It was actually a stone quarry where they dug out the water. They dig it out for a pond.
Well, maybe they dug stones out.
I remember Daddy took some old cars up there too and buried them. No, you're talking about them. I know up there he did. Now wait a minute. He didn't own it. Let me tell you, he did own it too. Did he own that? Yes, okay, let me explain it to you. I didn't know he did. Okay? Okay. Dad. Dad had a service station and a garage and he done body work. And they had a restaurant. And Mom had the restaurant. Okay, this is on Island Creek that she's talking about. And back then you had A models, T models, all that. Dad he sold cars. So he'd get these as trade-ins and he would take them over on the back of our farm and he would dump them over there. Bury them. Yeah, well later on he did. But there for a while he would just keep it, take parts and sell them, and stuff like that. But later on they got to complaining, people did, about the cars. And Dad had, I think, he had to bury them then, put dirt over it. But anyway, that was on Dad's land, and it was right at the back of our house. And you're talking about the pond that I almost got drowned in. I don't think it was a stone quarry. It was actually, Dad never called it a stone. No, it was just a pond.
So how'd you almost drown? Is that why you're
Stevie
afraid of water?
That's why I'm afraid of water. Stevie Sizemore was hungry. Yes, and he got, helped me underneath the water. And I started fighting. And he thought I was just cutting up. And I went down about almost the third time before some of them see me, I knowed I was struggling. Yeah, I like to drown it. Be right there by the house. We all went swimming there. Neighbors. Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason I'll fight over water, And you remember how I done you and your dad down in Florida? Here. They got me and they was acting up. And we was at a swimming pool out Canoe Creek. And Peggy and Edwin grabbed me and was holding me down, and I come up fighting. And I almost struggled in, didn't I? So, I never would be baptized, darling. One of them Sizemores.
Bad Sizemores.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's some other family stories?
What's some other family? Well, I'll correct her. Let her start and I'll finish it.
Okay, go, Esther, go.
Well, what was some of the good crops you grow down there in the hills of Kentucky?
Hey, I didn't grow any crops other than hemp.
Hemp? What's hemp?
No damn marijuana.
Oh, is that what it is? Hemp is marijuana?
We used to smoke rabbit tobacco, and Michael looked it up, and he said it was like a tranquilizer.
Is it long lasting?
It's long lasting.
It's still lasting, right?
Still lasting.
Okay. We'll make sure we get all this correct.
Oh yeah, get it correct. We won't want you to.
Yeah, that's when we was real making this stuff.
Oh, you don't do it now.
Oh, so different. She's to talk about different phases of life.
Well, what about the phase now? What kind of phase are we in now?
What kind of phase? Is that long lasting?
Evidently, it's lasted this long, so.
We don't need no alcohol, we don't need no drugs in our body. We're gonna have fun.
Maybe it's
High all the time.
You're high on life, huh?
We're high on life. Can't say very much about people. You know, I had a brother-in-law that he would always say, well, I have to have me a couple of beers or something to drink Martin. He said to have fun, said, your whole family, said, they just cut up and laugh, and I'll see how they do it without drinking.
Heck, well, whoever.
I can tell you the last time that Dad, she was telling the truth. Dad did bootleg when JB and Lever were both was small kids, and Mom hated him. And one night he come in and he was drunk. And Lever and JB had went to hunting. And Esther, you probably heard this story. I don't know if you, but anyway, they found him. And Dad had went to the store. He was drunk. They found him at the store, and he bought a box of candy. So in order to get him home, they stole his candy. They took his candy. Back then, you got a box of candy. They was like sticks of candy. And in order to get him home, they was on horses. Back then, you were on horses too. And no joking. They stole this box of candy from him and took off. And Dad was drunk, and he started chasing them on his. Oh my God.
So they just stayed out of reach of it.
Yeah. And when they got home, Mom, I think, cleaned up on Dad, but anyway, she went out and told Dad to get in the house. But that was true. Dad chased him. They know that's the only way they can get him home. Did you ever hear that before?
No, but
I think that's the last time I ever know that Dad had a was.
The last time Dad drank, I remember that, because as a kid, you know, here I heard Dad running after JB around the house.
Yeah.
And he was
Because they
shooting-
would do
he was
things,
shooting.
they would do
He had a
things
gun.
to him.
He had a gun, he was going to shoot
Yeah.
him. And the next day, Mom told him, you know, I don't know, you know how Mom cleaned up on him.
Yeah.
And Mom told him, you know, what he did, and he never drank another drink after that.
Yeah.
I
Now, the
don't think
boys would
that's
do
so
something to get him, you know, they'd have to get him home, or, but what he would do is take off and make liquor up in the hills, and would come home and they'd go hunting for him.
Okay, this is episode 1 of the Reeds reliving their life. So tune in for the second one.
I was tiny then, but I just barely remember that, and I remember Mom would tell, you know.